Guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we have Darling by Ancrum. Sorry if you hear the background noise, my dog has decided to wake up. So this book I got in the Unplugged July box because this book was intriguing because it is a dark retelling of Peter Pan. But there's no simple retelling. This is not like a simple Peter Pan retelling, guys. This is where there's no magic to it, there's no something fantasy to it, you know, love at first sight kind of thing. This is intense. This is like Peter is bad. He's a bad guy. Oh my god, this sent me shivers down my spine, guys. And everything like that. I did not expect to see something like this. This is the front cover of the book. The book is so beautiful. Not all lost boys should be saved. So meaning these lost boys are not who you think they're gonna be, like in the stories. So inside we have our author letter, which is lovely, and we also had a book plate too. Let's take it on. So this is a black hardback with the spine of being nice little pink on it as well. So let's read more about the story. You heard this story before, but this time it won't end the way you think. But on Wendy Darling's first night in Chicago, a boy called Peter appears at her window. He's dizzying, captivating, beautiful, so she agrees to join him for the night in the town. Wendy thinks they're headed to a party, but instead they soon run it in the city's underground. She makes friends, a punk girl named Tinkerbell, and the lost boys Peter watches over. And she makes enemies this defying Detective Hook. And maybe Peter himself, as his sinister secret starts coming to light. Can Wendy find the courage to survive this night? And make sure everyone else does too? It's like creepy, but such a dark thing to go through. So we don't know if Detective Hook is actually the real bad guy, or if this Peter is actually the bad guy. You got a punk Tinkerbell, for goodness sake. Like, not a small fairy that has a little bit of jealous rage, but a punk Tinkerbell who will be able to get things her way done. There's a bit of swearing in this as well. I did not expect that, so just be warned, guys, if you are reading this, it does have some swearing. It's not easy to be an adult or a kid. Fortunately, we can't revisit some of these special childhood memories that remind us of our youth. So the author takes one of these fond tales we know of Peter Pan and successfully reimagines it through a modern lens of timely themes, thrills, and delightful device cast of revamped characters. My favourite one of my Disney movies is Peter Pan, and I want to try and read all the retellings there are, but there's like so many, I think. All the Disney retellings, I've got a few, but this one was definitely something that I was like, yes, I've got to get it. It's such a really, really good book, and I enjoyed it myself. It was definitely something I did have to read it up. Like, it can be easy done in one day, but it did take me a minute. Like, well, like I had to put the book down a minute, and I'm like, okay, I'll come back to you like the next day, because stuff that you want to find out was so triggering a little bit. You're like, oh my god, what the hell just happened? Then you go back to the book. The entire novel takes place over one night. Literally one night. This whole book, in one night, how this girl Wendy goes missing. Basically, her parents think she's missing, and she's texting her friend, saying, sort of, she's saying, oh, I just met a boy. This boy's willing to pay for my train. It's like $2.50. And she's like, don't sell yourself out for $2.50 something. Do this, do that, and they're exchanging checks and everything. But not only is that something she's telling her friend, but her parents and her friend's parents are getting quite saying that is a bad influence on her child. Wendy Darling being lured away into Chicago night by an impish and charming Peter. She promised parties, fun, and everything else a sheltered girl would find exhilarating, especially in such a bustling metropolis. After that, not long until things go wrong, so we find out more about Peter, why he's doing things, why he thinks why we want to know why he's a bad guy, and all that. Don't be fooled, this is not the innocent Disney version of Peter Pan that you know. The author spins a tale filled with tense, dark atmospheres and expert prose that never loses its grip from the first page at last. And even with a cast that only grows with each passing character. Darling's characters are all vivid and interesting, not to mention incredibly diverse. Various characters are made of people of colour, many of them also queer, making this one most inclusive retelling is in recent memories. Each event that pushes the stories forward isn't without meaning. They all empower a few thought-provoking messages presenting throughout the novel. The author explores the vulnerability of youth, particularly those who are bid or queer, where they find outcasted from the rest of the world. After all, it's not much easier to fall into dark danger disguised as kindness, where you feel as you've got nowhere where you don't belong anywhere else, such as this darling bit of uncomfortable read. Like I said, I had to put it down for a bit because I was like, oh, okay, I need to take a break from this book. One that truly forces the reader to come to terms with his unreceptive realities and experiences, so that many of us ignore and will likely never experience of our lives. It's still a discomfort that must felt pair that was vivid world from the authors has reimagined, and you have a compelling read that presents nearly everything you want in a retelling, from its representation to its captivating story plots. Darling is most one of these novels that keep you thinking long past the final chapter. You're thinking, is this person going to do more? Like, she got told off in the end as well. She did definitely get told off by her family, saying that she's going to be grounded for 1,000 years. Her friend got grounded for like a month. But it was like there was a lot just going on in this book. I could not believe, but I really did enjoy this book. It's just something that you wouldn't normally expect to read. If you guys like Peter Pan retellings, this book is definitely something you want to read. Like I said, it's a dark one. It's definitely something I did not expect to read, but it definitely had my tensions up and hope. And I think it was definitely a good book. I hope you guys enjoy this, and I'll see you guys next time for the next book. Peace. Bye.